Hey everyone, welcome back. Today I will be doing something that I've been meaning to do for quite a long time. It's been requested by many people, but I'm doing a docking tutorial. Um, Now, I'm going to try my hardest to mention everything that I know about docking. So let's just get started here. A lot of people ask when the correct, here's our target over here, and here's our launch ship. But a lot of people ask when the perfect time is to launch in order to be most efficient in hitting this. Um, Honestly, just like in the real world, it really does not matter all that much when you launch. It's just you can adjust it so that you hit it from no matter where the target is. Um, Only thing is just how quickly it will go. But anyway, I will get this thing into an orbit that is identical to this, and you guys should probably know how to do that. But I will get back to you as soon as this thing is in orbit, okay? There we go. And as you can see, it's almost exactly the same as the orbit for the target, which is pretty good. So, first thing you want to do is you want to set, not the debris, you want to set the ship that you're going for, the target, as the target by clicking on it and setting set as target. It brings up, see how it's hard to see with this view, but one orbit is blue, that's your orbit, and the green orbit is the orbit you're trying to hit. Now there are a bunch of weird markers on here, and I'm explaining what all they mean. This is the ascending node and the descending node. These are basically the points at which the orbits cross in a vertical. And if I zoom in a little more, so you can see the blue orbit. I got this actually. This is actually pretty exact. Should have made it a little less exact, but actually, you know what? Let me just make it a little less exact. Okay, so do you see the difference now? I didn't actually change the altitude of the orbit at all. I just made it's inclined in a different way. So now the markers of the descending node, the ascending node, demonstrate where they intersect vertically. So what you want to do is what you want to, and I'll show you how to do it with maneuver nodes. You want to get to one of the nodes, add a maneuver. It's a little finicky, so you gotta be a little careful, and make it so that they intersect, and you'll know that it's pretty close when the ascending and descending node fly off. And in fact, right there, the division is so precise. This is such a precise orbit that I have planned out that it is not a number. That's what NaN means. So now we just wait for that time, and then we'll burn to correct my mistake that I intentionally made. Oh, good. Oh, here we go. And burn. Almost perfect. Let's see how it is on the... Yeah. Oof, that's a beautiful inclination. Not a number. Okay, now second part of the importance of docking. These are the intersect markers, and as you can see, this is showing that this one over here is where my craft will be, and this is where the target craft will be when I get there. Obviously, we don't want that. So let me just explain this really quickly. If you want something to catch up to you, if something's behind you and you want it to catch up to you, you make your orbit wider and larger than the other one, so it moves faster and moves underneath you, and then you can catch up to it that way. And if you want to catch up to something, you make your orbit smaller. So that's pretty simple. But in fact, since this orbit is so perfect, I'm just going to go ahead and burn now, and I'll show you how to use the target intersections. See, you burn, and oh, they're already starting to get farther or closer and closer together. These orange one, let's burn a little more. Alright, now this one is getting really close. You want it to get as close as possible. I'm going to use RCS to approach. Ooh. Perfect. That's really good. If they're going to come within a 0.1 of a kilometer of each other, that's 100 meters. So that's almost perfect. And really, you just have to change your orbit until they meet up. That's really all you have to do. Now we have to just wait. And yeah, 1 kilometer. That's pretty good. It'll also helps because the descending node changed from not a number to 0. That's a shame. But as you can see, it's moving quicker than we are, so it's going to catch up to us. And in fact, let's just watch it. Where is it? Can I see it yet? It should be right below us, or close to it. Maybe we're not close enough. I don't know. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, it appears at 100 kilometers away. So now let's switch over to target mode. You click on this, and now it comes up with different icons. The purple one, which normally represents where the space center is, in reference to you, now indicates where your target is. The green indicates the direction you are moving, not or in relation to that. And currently we are moving about 300 meters per second difference in velocity to the target. And we switch around, and now we're pointing away from the target, but also pointing towards our retrograde marker, which is the marker that we need to burn at to slow down, which will bring our orbit back into normal orbit once we hit this area. So now we just have to wait a little longer. Watch it; it's getting closer and closer. Let's see. And looks like we're going to be docking. Oh, I just missed it. I just missed it. That's not good. Just burn. Okay, now if you notice, I burned a little over, so I'm coming back towards the target. And as you can see, I'm trying to get the green marker to overlap the purple marker, which means I'm heading straight at it. Okay, now I need to turn around again before I hit the target, which will be soon here. I don't want to collide. Prepare to burn. Some people like to use RCS instead of thrusters for this stage, or instead of rockets for this stage, but the rockets are just easier, in my opinion. Alright, you can see it now, silhouetted against what is presumably the Milky Way. We're going to slow down so that our velocity relative to it is 0. Let's use RCS for the rest. Okay, that's good enough. We're now mostly not moving toward it. Another good point is that now with the release of 0.19, they changed it so that sunlight no longer shines through planets, so everything's dark. So you're going to need lights to light up your target. It helps. Okay, now this is where a lot of people change what they do. You have to use RCS to dock. I mean, I'm just going to say right now, it is pretty much impossible to dock without RCS. But some people like to use this down here, which is docking mode. I don't particularly like that because it just seems weird to me because I'm so used to the other method. But the other method is to keep in staging, turn on RCS, and then use the IJKL to move up, down, left, and right, or however it is. Yeah, up, down, left, and right, and then H and N to move forwards and backwards. So we will do that, but first we need to do this. We need to open up our, I use the shielded ports. I've seen a lot of people make the mistake of trying to dock 2 shielded ports together, and no, you want to make sure both are open. See, there's a target, and we will just orient ourselves in a similar way, so let's rotate. We can also press caps lock to turn on fine control mode, which is really helpful because it just makes really, really tiny, gentle movements. And I'm moving away from the sun, or from the light a little bit. Okay, now we just turn on our RCS is already on, and we use the IJKL keys to move so that we are looking again at the target. And here comes the light back into play. Move this way a little bit. Fine control mode is still on. Another point that I've seen a lot of people make a mistake of is you cannot dock a Clampatron Junior to a Clampatron. They have to be the same size in order to dock. And I already mentioned the shielded docking ports. Okay, so now we are, it'll be a little easier to see once we are pointing more directly at the target. Let's press H to move, or to translate forward. And this is called, instead of rotation, this is translation. RCS translation. And as you can see, that burn a little while ago made our orbits almost exactly the same. And in a minute, our orbits will be the same. Oh, I forgot to set this as target again. That's why nothing was showing up. Anyway, yeah, you can see now we're moving over. And we are just adjusting the green marker to be directly over the target because we are pretty much there. We're moving at about 6 meters per second, which is too quickly to dock, but we'll slow down once we get a little closer. Typically, I like to have a docking velocity of about 0.1 to 0.2 meters per second. So as we get closer, we'll slow down. I'm really glad this is a night docking so I could show that it's really important to have lights. Okay, getting closer, getting closer. Let's press N to slow down a little bit. 4 meters per second. Good. Slower. 3, 2, and we'll just use this as the final docking velocity. So actually, let's slow down a little more. I lied. Okay, and once you get within a few meters of each other, they'll pull each other together, and bingo, we have docking. And let's just time accelerate so that we get to the sun. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is just how you dock. It takes some getting used to, but once you get the hang of it, you're able to do it in your sleep. Anyway, I hope that this tutorial has been insightful and useful to you if you have had trouble with docking in the past. But that concludes this tutorial, so I'll see you guys all later.